sitting here in what is left of your kitchen waiting to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
And behind us is, can you explain what's behind us in the background?
Right behind us is the laundry, and then a second toilet, and then a bathroom along that way, and then a bedroom behind the kitchen. And up this end is our bedroom and our ensuite up there.
Right.
And then our lounge room around the back there. Yeah.
Okay, so what services...
Can I just tell you, the night of the floods, the water came rushing in through this door here. I was trying to sandbag and everything, and then when I walked back this way to tell Alan, don't bother, it's coming in too far, the water was coming up through all the boards and that. Do you know what I mean? Like it was coming up underneath where all the walls and the doors and whatever were. So I said to Alan, there's not much point in sandbagging. It's gone.
So how high in the house?
2 minutes later, that big green door there just collapsed onto the floor with all our pots and that, just pushed it over and collapsed.
That's a lot of force.
Yes, and the fly, everybody looks at me as if to say, but how come the fly wire door wasn't it? The fly wire door was with the water that was rushing, because it came from that lady's house too, because it came from the paddock as well. It had held the fly wire door open, but the pots, those great big pots that you tried to lift, they just pushed it open with the force of the water, just pushed it open. It was that forceful. Now, Alan and I cannot lift one of those pots on our own.
No, I know how heavy those pots are.
Yeah, it's so heavy, but the water just was like a feather to the water.
Basically like picking up a Lego by a baby.
Yeah, that's right. And it was, before we knew where we were, it was just over.
So how high in the house was the water?
Up to our knees, so roughly that high, which meant, like there, which meant that I couldn't put the dogs down, you couldn't sit in a chair. To walk around here was very hard because everything was floating, like, how can I explain?
And plus, in the water itself, you wouldn't know what you might be standing on.
That's what I mean, shoes and things like that you have, they've all floated out of your bedroom or out of the other rooms or whatever. The carpet was on top of the water, it had lifted and gone on top of the water, so you're sort of thinking to yourself, what is that? What's going on? So yeah, you were tripping over, you were falling over, but where do you go? And they say to us, when we asked one of the firemen that were here working, we asked him, and I know he would have been upset because everybody's in the same boat, but when we asked him, how do we get out of here? Is there any way anybody can help us get out? Is it all right if we drive our cars and that? And he said, no, you can't drive your car, the current's too strong, but you were told a week ago to get out. And
seriously?
Just turned around and walked away. And my answer was, excuse me, don't talk to me like that, but we were told from last floods it was going to be that much deeper, not that much deeper. We weren't touched. It was only in the road out there. It wasn't on our lawn or anything 10 years ago. This time it's up to our knees in water. Like, if you had told me, yes, the water is going to come all over here, all over there, yes, I would have moved. But when you tell me it's going to be 10 centimetres more than last time, I'm saying I'll be right. That means the lawn.
Yeah.
And where do you go? Not much point in telling people, get out. Where do you go to?
Correct, because just about every community around here
had to get out.
Had to get out and flooded.
That's right. So when you go to, rightio, I'll get out. So I'll go to Echuca. No, can't go there. The roads are closed. It's flooded. Okay, I'll go to Bendigo. No, can't go there. The roads are flooded. It's all blocked off. Where do you go?
You couldn't go to Shepparton.
And then you
flooded and blocked
that's
off.
Right. If you have 2 dogs, hotels won't take you, motels won't take you, holiday houses won't take you. So where do I go? Sit on the street? Like, what do you do?
So what services were you offered during and after the floods? What services were offered, and what services and businesses still operating around here?
Apart from the fire brigade driving around shining a torch all night, I don't know of anybody that we weren't offered anything.
Nothing at all from any
The
services?
fire brigade finally came and got us and took us to out the road there to a sewerage place, and where everybody was taken that had to be evacuated and that, where lots of dog fights and little kids, and it was just horrible and
But out to a sewerage
scary.
place, especially with floods around, that's going to cause a lot of diseases and
Yes.
a lot of health problems.
Well, this house alone, this house was the three people that came from Tongala that I did art with that helped me, came to help us get everything out and that. They walked in here and they all day were going, I have to get out, I'll have to get out. It was full of sewerage, this house. And I'm going to swear, no way, cow poo pads were floating everywhere in the house.
So instead of having landmines, you had water mines.
Yes, and I'm surprised that neither Alan or I or anybody else in Rochester hasn't got seriously sick because of all the
Crap.
yeah, because it came from the paddocks where the cows and the horses and everything are pooing, and that's what they're supposed to do. And I'm not going crook, I'm not saying they should have sifted it before it came through, but surely to goodness we should have all been given like a health check, would have been good from somebody somewhere. You know, you have to go and have this. If we have to have an injection for COVID, which mind you I had 2 months before the floods and then had a mild stroke, if I have to have that, why aren't I given a medical? Why isn't everybody in Rochester given a medical in case they've caught something or picked something up, or else they're spreading something?
So nobody has been advised or said, look, we need to take you to the hospital to get fully checked out, all the tests done.
No.
So how does the Rochie Hospital handle the situation with the floods?
Well, the Rochie Hospital was shut, and it still is and won't be open for nearly 18 months, I was told.
What happened about the poor patients that were in the hospital?
Probably like the last flood, they went and got them and took them out and evacuated them to other hospitals around. I have no idea.
We were talking earlier about situations when it gets really hot. So what's some of the things that are still available for the younger generation, the middle generation and the generation of our age to help keep them cool, like a pool or water park, things like that?
There's nothing.
Nothing.
There is nothing in... I can take you past roads, islands, that haven't been fixed. That if a truck or a car accidentally hits it, it's going to roll, and that's near the school. The kids at school are my grandson and granddaughter at the school. I have to go and pick them up and bring them here. That every day they come home with sunburn because there's not enough shade for them to sit under, all the kids to sit under.
So the school's open again?
Yes, they're all in what do they call those?
Portables?
Portables, yeah, they're all in portables. But the portables have taken up all the playground and whatever, but there's no real shade places for the kids to go. I passed 1 or 2, but we're talking a lot of children here, all under one, all standing close together in heat like this, under one shade thing.
That's primary school, high school together?
Yeah.
What is it, something like about 600 kids or something in the
Yeah,
school?
but there's also a Catholic school around near the river that was wiped out too, and it's doing the same thing.
doing the same thing.
Yep.
How are they supposed to keep cool during summer and the holidays and things like
I
that? with
think
no
they
pool?
have, well, I think the portables have air conditionings and that in them, a bit like our caravans, but
During recess and lunchtime, they're not allowed inside though.
I don't think so, no. Not what I saw. I saw all the kids out on the oval and all that,
You think
standing underneath trees.
you think putting in the portables will take up all this space that the kids had for their shade and everything else
That's
like that?
right.
You think they put up shade sails,
Mm.
shade cloths, areas
Well,
where they can get out of the heat?
they do have one area there, and out the back they have another area. But as I said, for all the kids that are there, it's not enough. And my grandson said he doesn't like doing the sport, and I said why? And he said it is so hot that you can't get any relief from it. It's just, if you do it in the morning, you sit there in wet clothes because they're all sweaty and hot.
And then they get told, use deodorant because you stink.
Yeah, that's right.
There's another thing
Yes.
along the lines of things for people to do. The senior citizen side of Rochie in this community, a lot of their things for the activities and everything else were virtually wiped out by the floods.
Yes.
And things like a men's shed, women's clubs, things like that to help with the mental health situation before the floods. What services do you think or believe might still be underway here to help people deal with the mental health situation and whatever other mental health episodes that they might be having, whether it be for people, for animals as well, their pets?
As far as I know, not a lot. There is some, I don't think there's anything for the men's shed. I'm pretty sure they're not working with that. But Alan and I don't have a lot to do with that anyway. But I did notice the other day in the paper that they had something about you can meet somewhere, and I'm not sure whether it was the 3 R's or whatever, to go and do handwork or what do you call it, crocheting and that sort of stuff. But yeah, there is nothing going on because there's no buildings available. All those buildings were down near the river and they're all gone. And not only that, there's a lot of, I think there should be a place where all of us, old, young, whatever, can just walk into a place and just sit and talk to one another like we are now. Whether it's, I've had this done, or you've had that done, or I'm so angry, or I'm just so fed up. There's nobody, you can only talk to one another, and after a while that one another becomes further and further apart because you've heard it. You can't get rid of your frustration, and when you do say to somebody about it, that, I know this is horrible, but they all say to you, oh yes, I know. Well, I'm sorry, but I've gone through losing a son, and I know nobody knows. I just want to be able to tell somebody and not have somebody tell me what I should be thinking and how I should be thinking and how I should be dealing with it, because the way you deal with it is entirely different to the way I deal with it.
That is correct, and one big problem with the human race is judgment.
That's right. My husband the other day went to pay the council rates in case he was overcharged because we didn't pay them on time. He went up to the council building which had a notice that it was closed, you have to go to the 3 R's. Now I've been here, him and I have been here for about 30 years. Neither of us knew what the 3 R's were.
What are the 3 R's?
I'm not sure what the 3 R's stand for, but it's up there near the netball courts.
That's where
At the end there.
that's where all the insurance companies and everyone, and they're still down there, builders and that sort of thing down there.
Oh, is that at the golf club?
Yes.
That's right, yeah.
Oh,
the
with
old
the
club.
tennis courts, it's got the waves in it.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. That's the 3 R's. So if you
right.
ever want to pay anything, you go to the 3 R's. Well, then my husband went up to the 3 R's to pay it, and the council's not here today. It's only here on Tuesday and Wednesday or something.
Something like that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Well,
no, they weren't there. But
You're rushing around trying to pay your bill, so as you don't get charged over.
And they're not
Which,
there.
yep, we've already had an electricity bill. Was it electricity or don't know.
Gas.
No, electricity came. The gas man was good. We rang and said, look, I'm sorry, but we don't know where the gas bill was. It was flooded. And we haven't used any gas, so, only for like 3 weeks or something before it was all flooded. And he said, look, don't worry about your bill, just forget it, we'll get back to you as soon as we can when the next one's ready.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't heard word from him, so we're happy about that. But then we were charged, I don't know, $20-something over because we didn't pay our power bill. Look, we don't know where our power bill is, it's gone.